Hi, I'm Katie Franklin. I'm the Director of Communications for Ohio Right to Life.
And I'm Jessica Kaler, the Director of Legislative Affairs for Ohio Right to Life.
And today we wanted to provide you with an important legislative update considering all of the amazing activity that we have had over at the State House just in the last couple of weeks and really in the last 24 hours. So Jessica is going to actually debrief us on all of the different things that have been taking place with one bill in particular called the Dismemberment Abortion Ban. Really important legislation at the top of our legislative agenda that we're hoping to see become law very soon here in the state of Ohio.
Exactly.
So, with this dismemberment abortion ban, can you just explain what does this ban do?
Yeah, exactly. This ban is essentially a ban on dilation and evacuation abortions, which usually occur between 13 and 24 weeks. This is a ban on doing these abortions on living unborn babies. That would essentially rip a baby apart limb by limb to extract it from the woman. At this age, as I said, 13 to 24 weeks, the baby's about the size between a lemon and a cantaloupe. So just to give you kind of a size reference for kind of the stage of development this baby's at. Really difficult to talk about subject because it is a really graphic topic, honestly, but something that we really need to be talking about and understanding what's going on at this stage. So that's what the bill does. It makes sure that that is no longer legal in the state of Ohio.
And why is legislation like this so important? Why is Ohio Right to Life working on this legislation?
Yeah, this legislation is part of a national strategy. Now, 8 other states have passed similar legislation, and it's a next step towards banning abortion in America and making sure that we have a culture of life in America. As part of the incremental approach, we are making sure to change hearts and minds as we go, and it's specifically crafted along the lines of the partial birth abortion ban, which was recently upheld in the Supreme Court as constitutional due to its inhumanity and brutality. So in those arguments by a lot of the Supreme Court justices, they cited specifically dismemberment abortion as also being equally inhumane and brutal. Both Justice Ginsburg and Justice Kennedy made such comments, so on both sides of the issue. So this is a sound legislation that's going to be upheld in court and possibly can challenge Roe v. Wade and hopefully overturn Roe v. Wade and send that decision back to the states.
Yeah, so that it's really big. It's really big what we're dealing with here in Ohio. What is the big update? What has happened with this legislation so far over at the State House?
Exactly. Well, exciting news is the fact that we just had the Senate pass this legislation out of their chamber. So that means it has to go over to the House before it gets voted and sent to the governor. But the huge success of, in just a few short weeks, getting it through the Senate, voted, supported by all of the Republicans in the Senate. I believe the vote was 24-9. So we had a huge amount of support in the Senate for this legislation. Just some great testimony from so many different people to support it. So it was really exciting and groundbreaking.
So what can we anticipate going forward? What's the next step in this whole process?
So the next step, as I mentioned, it goes to the House. The House of Representatives will need to have their own committee hearings and committee votes and a whole House vote. So hopefully we will get that started in the fall because the legislators take a short break during the summer months and come back in September. And then we're looking for, by the end of the year, having a ban on dismemberment abortion as law in Ohio.
That would be so awesome.
It would be wonderful.
Very
really
progressive, really,
exactly.
for the state of Ohio.
Exactly.
Okay, so one other item on Ohio Right to Life's legislative agenda is the Pregnancy and Parenting Support Program, and that is part of the Ohio budget, which we know was just passed by the Ohio legislature. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Of course. So the budget process this year has been an intense one, to say the least. The legislature has had to fill a $1 billion hole in the budget. So we have been working, in the past, it has been funded, this program has been funded at $500,000 per year to go to different pregnancy centers and fund those centers. And we were at first looking at a few cuts, and in the last couple of weeks of the budget, we have gotten fully funded, and that is what's been passed and sent to the governor, and we're fully expecting him to sign that on Friday. So good news that in such a tight year, we got fully funded for the $1 million over the biennium for these pregnancy centers. So it's really good news. It really shows a culture of life that is in the Ohio General Assembly these days.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And yesterday in general was just a really big day for
It
Ohio
really
Right to
was.
Life. This all happened yesterday.
Exactly.
It all came to this big culmination just yesterday. We had our 50th anniversary, so Ohio Right to Life is now 50. And then the dismemberment abortion ban was passed, and the Pregnancy and Parenting Support Program passed as part of the state budget. So there's a lot of really exciting things that are happening here in the state of Ohio and here at the State House with Ohio Right to Life. And we'll hope that you'll continue to follow us on this journey. We have still a long way to go, obviously, but you can keep up with us here on YouTube throughout the summer as we continue to keep you posted on all of the different legislative happenings here in Ohio. So if you are interested in helping Ohio Right to Life advocate for legislation like the dismemberment abortion ban, you can go to ohiolife.org and get onto our Legislative Action Center. If you just go up to the top of the page and you click Take Action, Legislative Action Center, you'll find the dismemberment abortion ban right there. And you can send a letter to your state representative right from our website. Even though the legislature is going on recess here, it will still matter that they continue to hear from you throughout the summer and that they continue to get your feedback so that when we get back in the fall, we can really hit the ground running with this legislation.
They always like to have support, to know that their constituents agree and support what they're doing, because they get a lot of letters and hate phone calls about protecting life, and so it's good for them to know that they're doing the right thing, and then their constituents support them.
In the meantime, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course subscribe here on YouTube to stay in touch with Ohio Right to Life. Thanks so much for watching and have a nice day.